Hello and welcome to the European Social Union debate, a forum where policy experts, politicians and institutional representatives discuss their views on the establishment of a European Social Union. Joining us today we have João Rodrigues. She is a member of the European Parliament, Vice President of the S&D Group, and she was Rapporteur of the European Pillar of Social Rights. Welcome, thanks for being here. So my first question refers to the State of the Union speech by Jean-Claude Juncker, President of the Commission in 2015. He said, "We need to recreate a process of convergence," and I'm quoting, "both between member states and within societies, with productivity, job creation and social fairness." So regarding this statement, what is your assessment of what has been achieved until now?
Well, we started very low when it comes to social Europe. We could almost not speak about social Europe. And then with this legislature, and I think thanks to the particular pressure coming from Social Democrats, we put social back in the European agenda. And we got from Juncker this commitment that we should prepare together a European pillar of social rights. So this started with a proposal coming from the European Commission. Then the Parliament prepared a very large and ambitious report, and I was the rapporteur, that's why I know the story well. And then we involved all the governments, and we ended up in Gothenburg with a proclamation committing all European institutions and all national governments. This proclamation is, first of all, a real update of social standards in face of new challenges, but is more than this, because we want to go beyond just beautiful declarations with principles. We want to turn this into changing reality, and that's why now the social pillar is being translated into a very large agenda with directives, so European laws, with a new orientation for social policy and economic policy, but also with some new financial instruments. Social fund, the European investment program with much more concern on social infrastructures, for education, for health, example, and also a recent reform of the Globalization Fund to give support for all regions and companies where jobs are being lost.
In other words, is this what needs to happen to make the social pillar a success story?
Yes, but let me tell you that we are just at the moment of adopting the instruments. It was a big battle because it was not easy to get the necessary majorities, and now we need to implement this on the ground. So this is for the next phase.
But some things are already happening, no? So we already moved from beautiful words to action.
Yes, because we could adopt laws. We adopt a first one to improve working conditions for whatever the job. Even these are the digital jobs in online platforms. We have adopted a law saying in whatever the job, you have two very important things. One is a labor contract, and another one is full access to social protection all over your life. Then we have adopted a very important law to improve work-life balance when taking care of children or relatives, for parents and for carers. And then, more recently, we adopted also something new, which is the European Labour Authority, to make sure that these laws are really respected in all countries.
Some scholars see or think the social pillar should lay the ground for the establishment of a European social union. What is your opinion on that? Is this too ambitious?
Well, I think we do need a European social union because we have monetary union with the euro. We have an economic union with the single markets and some common economic policies. So we do need a social union. But let me also make clear, a social union is not there to replace national social protection systems or welfare state systems. They will always be needed, and we have different national traditions. But the social union is necessary to make sure that whatever the national differences, all European citizens, they should count on the following. Some common social standards and labor standards, first thing, translated into law. Second thing is common priorities for social policy, example, to help young people to find jobs and good jobs, to fight child poverty, to improve work-life balance for men and women. These are common priorities for all countries.
But now that you're talking about differences, is it possible to reconcile the different systems, the different ideas from the south, from the north, from the east? Because we have big difference when talking about social security, about social issues.
Yes, because we should say that in spite of these differences, someone who is unemployed should count on social protection in unemployment. That's why we're also alluding to a European employment reinsurance, something which should complement the national unemployment schemes and help someone who is unemployed and cannot have decent conditions to live. So Europe should be there to make sure that at the end of the day we can count on real protection. And so this means that, for instance, even the social fund should be for everyone to fight child poverty and to help young people to find new jobs. This is a European instrument for all European citizens, yes.
So we are, last question, because we are arriving to the end of this interview. We are now about to enter an elections period. We'll have elections very soon. So if you had to choose one specific message or policy proposal that your group should advocate for in these elections, what would that be?
Well, I would say to turn this new directive which improves working conditions and gives social protection for all European citizens into a reality, because you know, this new directive we have just voted in the European Parliament can cover 300 million people in employment. This is powerful, and this means that we really need European law, not only national law.
Thanks very much for your time. So this is all for today. If you want to learn more about the European Social Union debate, there's much more, like there are many articles, podcasts, and really interesting information in EuVisions website that I strongly recommend you to follow. Thanks for listening.